is so much for others to use as stones to step on or stones to avoid. Are you ready? No man can be final, but he can record his progress. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
Hello, everybody. Welcome. Happy Wednesday. My name is Candice Reyes. I am your host for tonight's Exchange Live Sessions series that we host every Wednesday nights here on Facebook Live and YouTube Live with the Jazz Exchange. Thank you guys so much for joining us tonight. We have a very special guest that I'll be mentioning in a bit. But before we get to that, if you're tuning in for the very first time, welcome. We are the Jazz Exchange. I'm one of the founders of the Jazz Exchange. And you can see on your screen right now, we have all our social media handles of how you can follow us, find out more about what we're doing, any upcoming events, things that we have done in the past, anything regarding our organization. You can find us on any of the social media handles that you see on your screen presented right now. So if you are new to us, please check us out, give us a like on Facebook, subscribe to our YouTube channel, and, check out our website. And whenever you have some extra time and you're drinking a glass of wine or something, you can see all the cool things that we've been doing in the jazz community, as our mission is always to building communities through music. So thank you so much for tuning in. Just to move on, and a few highlights on a few things. As you guys know, the Jazz Exchange Relief Fund has been going since April of last year. Excuse me. And this relief fund was just meant to support artists financially, help them get through some of the hardest times of our lives, musical careers. As full time musicians, just, as you all know, we don't need to remind you, but musicians were hit first in this pandemic. And so a lot of them were out of tours, jobs, I mean, right away. So this was our way of giving back to the community, especially the jazz community, of supporting and, just giving some extra help. And now through the Jazz Exchange Relief Fund, we've expanded it to where we support jazz artists by hiring artists to do virtual jazz sessions, which is another program we do on our YouTube channel, which you have to go and subscribe so you can check that out. It's free to subscribe. You just click subscribe and it gives you notifications on what we're doing. So our virtual jazz sessions is something that we have been doing in supporting artists. So in this case, you guys, we have a new virtual jazz sessions video coming out. It's actually with Radham Schwartz Organ Big Band. That's coming out this Friday. So make sure you guys check us out on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel. You can see all the virtual jazz sessions that we have done in the past. We hire all these musicians through the Exchange Relief Fund. We support musicians by paying them, by helping them stay creative, still making music, still doing what they do best, and giving you all a wonderful video of some of these cool arrangements, really highlighting composers, arrangers, and then behind the scenes also supporting our production team, video editors, mixing, mastering, engineers. That's just kind of the whole process. And so we've just felt that through the Virtual Jazz Sessions program, it is something that we really can support all full circle here, right? So please check us out on the Radham Schwartz Organ Big Band that's coming out Friday on our YouTube channel. It'll be premiering and you'll be able to check that out and see where your donations are going as well. So thank you guys for checking that out. Also, we do have an education program through the Jazz Exchange, and the education program is something that we have been partnered up with Jazz House Kids, Melissa Walker and Christian McBride, who have a wonderful organization in Montclair, New Jersey. And so through our partnership, we are able to bring students from our hometown, which is my hometown, El Paso, Texas, and my husband, Abel Mireles, which is from Juarez, Chihuahua, Mexico. So we get to bring students from over there to come and have an experience in the East Coast and be part of these wonderful summer jazz workshops that they have during the time of August. So we will be posting a few things. We will also be asking if you'd like to sponsor a student, just so they get the opportunity to have that education, because our future really relies on the generation, the people who are looking into this music, wanting to be part of it. And so it's always great to keep pushing and supporting them in the right direction and with more materials, and just being around some amazing legendary artists such as Christian McBride, Billy Hart. I mean, it's I can name the whole list and you're going to be in awe. But anyways, please check out our education program and see if you'd like to sponsor a student as well. So as you guys know, in the month of May, we are celebrating the Asian American and Pacific Islander Heritage Month. This commemorates the community and encompasses a wide range of cultures and lived experiences. And each one is an important part of the American narrative. Their stories are American stories, and their voices deserve to be heard. That's why we are highlighting a few of the stories from our AAPI artists to help people find connection and understanding by amplifying their words through their music. Through the Exchange Live sessions, we're exploring how to best use music as means of a larger issue of culture, race, and society. We use our platform to express, discuss, and to connect, and to raise awareness and break down the perceptions of the stereotypes of all races and cultures. In the light of recent tragedies associated with the anti-Asian violence and hate, let's get inspired by people spreading hope and solidarity. Let's get in. Let's let the exchange live. I'm sorry. The exchange live session is where we stand with the AAPI community in bringing this awareness. You will hear from Asian American artists who are doing innovative work that uplifts our diverse communities through music and their work. So I'm very, very excited today because we have a very special guest, and she is not only an amazing artist, but she's done so much amazing work. Just reading her bio and checking out her music. And it's been really an honor. And when I reached out, I was like, hopefully she's available, and she is. She was available, so I'm so excited to bring on our very special guest tonight. She is a jazz pianist, a composer, a keyboardist, the lovely Miss Jihee Heo. Hi, Jihee. How are you? Hi, Jihee. How are you? Oh, we got to make sure we unmute you here really quick. There we go. There we go. Perfect. So, Jihee, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I love the weather today.
Ah,
You know.
tell me about it. I know, right? We're inside here right now, but I hope you had some time to go out and enjoy the lovely weather.
Yeah, I mean, I went to Bryant Park yesterday, and I also had a chance to go to the park a little bit today. It was amazing. I mean, I love summer in New York,
Oh,
what my favorite season.
I agree. I totally agree. Just that warm weather and just getting out, right? Because I think that's like something we've all needed. So, Jihee, thank you so
Mhm.
much for joining us tonight. Where are you tuning in from?
I'm tuning in from my place, New York.
New York. All right. Is it like Upper Manhattan, Central, Midtown? Where are you?
Yeah, I live near Columbia University,
Ah,
uptown.
okay, very cool. Uptown New York.
Yeah,
Shout out to everybody in Uptown. Well, thank you so much.
yeah.
It's such an honor to have you tonight. Not only because, we're celebrating this month, but also because of just celebrating artists in general, right? Just supporting all our artists that come onto this platform and discussing, like we said, expressing, discussing, and connecting on all terms, on all subjects, current situations and upcoming events that are coming up for artists, especially in the jazz scene, and how things are slowly kind of opening up. So with that in mind, I just wanted to start off, in celebration of the AAPI community and everything that's going on. What does this month mean to you? How are you celebrating? What's going on right now in the month of May for you?
I mean, it is very meaningful. I mean, like if people recognize, like, and then, respect Asian community more than before. Since, like all that happened, like, Asian hate crime thing. So, it is I really appreciate people like trying to focus, what Asian heritage has been through in this country. Also, at the same time, as a musician, they try to understand the history of Asian, community and everything. So I think it's really good for me also trying to remember, my like where I'm from, like
Your
who am I?
roots. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so where are you from originally? I mean, I know you're New York based, but celebrating this month, you want to tell us a little bit more on your background and where you come from, your family, musical, anything on that end?
hmm Yeah, so I'm originally from South Korea. I was born in Incheon, South Korea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, and then I lived there until when I was 18, and then I moved to Amsterdam, Netherlands.
Oh,
So that's where I
nice.
did my bachelor degree. So I stayed in Amsterdam for 5 years, and then yeah, went back to Korea, and I came here 10 years ago for doing my master degree in
Oh,
Manhattan School of Music.
yeah.
Yes.
Wow, that's awesome. So let me backtrack. So you went to Amsterdam. What made you want to go to Amsterdam? Like, was it the conservatory? Like, what was the process of like going from South Korea to Amsterdam? Like, was that meant to happen because you wanted to study with somebody, or what was the process with that? That's really cool.
Yeah, so I always thought, I mean, I never thought that I want to go, study abroad. And then, there was a teacher when I was in high school, and then he always said, if you wanna do jazz, then you have to experience, like other culture. You
Mm,
have to be in US. So I initially wanted to go to, the States, but at the time I wasn't sure about like scholarship thing,
right,
I
right, right.
didn't have any idea. I was just 18. So I
Yeah.
just went to Korean college for 1 year, and then I met someone there, and then she said, "Oh, if you can't afford, the college in US, and how about you try, European culture, country?" So, and then she mentioned Amsterdam Conservatory. So, and then
Yeah.
the tuition fee was cheap, and then that's where all people gathering. They were like teaching in English, so I thought maybe I can afford it. So I auditioned, and then I got accepted it. That's why I got, I went there.
Wow, that's so cool. I mean,
Yeah.
congratulations. I mean, I know that's not just something that anybody goes to, right? And let me ask you this, at the conservatory, isn't that specific? I was reading the Conservatorium van Amsterdam, right? That's where you
Right.
went.
Uh-huh. Yeah.
Um that's a lot of jazz musicians went there, right? That's kind of
Mhm.
known for, jazz artists who are working there. I know of a singer, and I don't know if she went there, but I'm a huge fan of this jazz vocalist Faye Clawson. And I
Oh yeah.
is she was she is she at,
Yes.
either she teaches or she went there. I can't remember.
I think she taught there once. I remember her name. Yes.
Yes, yes. So that's why I mean I was very intrigued with the Amsterdam Conservatory, because I do remember her being well, she's one of my favorite vocalists, recent vocalists, but yeah, I mean I just know she was in Amsterdam, and that she was either teaching or she went there. But yeah, that's
Okay.
so cool that you get those opportunities with
Yeah.
other artists that are, either touring here in the US,
Hmm.
touring worldwide, globally. That's some of the cool and the amazing things that happen through like conservatories.
Yeah.
So then talk a little bit about, once you were done with the conservatory,
Hmm.
how old were you, and what made you go to New York? Like, what was your, I mean, was New York kind of like even in your mind? Like, did you even think about, like, what brought you to New York?
So, at the end of the bachelor year, I was thinking, oh, should I stay here for doing master there? Or, I just go back to Korea. But, I always, thought I really need to go to New York, because I was thinking that's where I need to be, like where I can learn jazz more.
Yeah,
So, but still, I was kind of worrying about the money. And then, I
of
was talking
course.
with mom, and then my mom said, I think you should first come to Korea, and then you make money there, because you got experience. Probably easy to make money in Korea.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then actually I applied, some master program, but it didn't work on for some reason. But now I think that because I meant to become here, so that's why. Yeah,
Exactly.
exactly. So, I came back to Korea, and then I was lucky. I got so many teaching opportunities there, and then also I got, some gigs there. So I taught in Korean college. So I was teaching as a part-time lecturer there
Oh,
at the
awesome.
college. Yeah, so I stayed there for 3 years, and then, I got enough money to, go to, apply for master's degree. I think God helped me to
Of
go there.
course. I
Yeah,
believe that
correct.
God
Yeah,
helps you, and that was meant to be. Yes, amen to
exactly.
that. Amen to that.
So actually, I got accepted 2010, and I didn't know that I need a TOEFL score, because I thought, because I studied in English for 4 years in Amsterdam, so I thought maybe I don't need it, and then they still, oh, you still need to, prove this one. So I didn't go. And then next year I applied again, but I didn't do the live audition or anything. I just, submit my TOEFL score. And then they said,
Wow.
oh yeah, now we got the TOEFL score, you just send us the video and it
Wow.
just comes. So, all right. So
Wow. So
that's
yeah,
why I
it
came.
was meant to be. Thank God for that. That's so
Yeah.
cool.
Right,
I always find it intriguing about it's almost like it's similar, but everybody has like a different little tweak to their story. Like I
right,
always hear like excuse me, I always hear like, oh, my parents always say like save money because it's so expensive to go to New York. And that's always like the thing that comes up, right? It's like it's so expensive to live in New York. It's so expensive to
right.
just be in New York.
Yeah,
And so, once you're here and you kind of get the gist of things and one you save money because you do know that you're going to be needing to work or you need to pay rent.
right,
All that good stuff. It really is very interesting, and I find it amusing on how every artist, no matter the difficulty or the expense of New York,
right.
it's like you still come. You know what I mean? And once you're here, you're just like, I never want to leave again. So that's
Right,
it's like a love-hate relationship in certain ways, right? And some of the
exactly.
difficulties and challenges of coming to New York. So I applaud you for going through that, process, because I'm sure it's not just easy, right? Like we probably talk about it and it's like, yeah, I applied and everything, but like it's like a life decision in your musical
Right.
career. And so
Mhm.
I'm sure did now that do you still do any kind of workshops or teaching in Korea?
I mean, I was out of Korea like almost 10 years.
Okay.
So, of
Because
course,
you were
like
in New
in the
York. You were in New
year,
York.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, so now I'm completely based on New York. So I got, just lost, just a little bit lost with the Korean musicians connection, but still I have a very good connection, who's here, the Korean musician who's here. So once I go back to Korea, from time to time, I'm trying to build up the relation. I mean, it changes a lot, like over 10 years, the people that I knew before, they're not there, the generation, changes. So
Yeah,
I have
definitely.
to, yeah, rebuild again, I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I totally understand. That's how it is. Like we go back to our hometown and we're like, wait, it's not the same. Now there's these younger kids. I don't even know them
Right.
anymore. It's like, oh
Right.
wait, I forgot.
Exactly.
People grow. I forget about that.
Right. Exactly.
But anyway, so I just wanted to talk about let's kind of get into some of the things that you're doing. Your first album is Passion.
Mhm.
And so just talk a little bit about that. I know how did that even start? Who's on the album? When did you record this?
So I recorded on 2015. So
Okay.
that was actually my first album. And then it's not trio album. Usually people release trio album if you're a pianist, right?
Mm.
But that was no net. So
A
like
no net. Oh
yes,
wow.
one saxophone and tenor saxophone and trombone, trumpet, and then
Yeah.
the rhythm section and then one vocalist.
Wow,
So
that's
yeah,
awesome.
right. So that was right after I graduated Manhattan School of Music, and then I was very into large ensemble at the time. And yeah, and then I was just thinking, oh, I want to do something. That's how I feel like now. And then I just don't want to do something that I don't, feel right now. And then I was very into, delivering the message, and then I thought maybe it's better. Sorry about the siren.
It's okay. That's New York, everybody. Welcome to New York. We're giving you guys an insight.
Right. Yeah. So at the time, I thought large ensemble formation is much better for, delivering what I want to do.
Yeah, definitely.
So, yeah. So the album was based on the Bible story from Luke chapter 24. So it's basically,
Oh
like
wow.
it's so I got the idea from Matthew Passion by Bach. So
Oh
it's the whole story, like,
nice.
from the, like how do you say that? Like a passion, like a
Yeah.
resurrection and ascension. So, I probably someone did it, but I couldn't find anybody who did that in jazz formation. I mean, there was
Yeah.
one person. I mean, I actually got the quote from him. His name is Kirk Whalum. He's very great jazz saxophonist.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So he did that kind of thing, but not the whole chapter. So
Wow.
so I thought, oh, I want to do this one in jazz.
That's really cool. Well, we would definitely have to check that out. That's really
Yeah,
interesting to
yeah.
that'll probably have to be like a whole other show so we could go into like how everything kind of came about. So,
Right.
Passions being your first album, that was a nonette. And
Mhm.
then this recent album, tell us a little bit about that. I know we want to listen to, to some stuff, but give us a little insight on the Are You Ready album.
Yeah, so this was recorded during the pandemic. Yes,
Lots of
I mean,
music.
I know. So yeah, it was very, I mean, everyone probably thought that how come you try to release the album during the pandemic? So it was right before, like beginning of March. And then I didn't know that it's coming. But
Right.
anyway, so I released my first album 2015. And then it was like I didn't do anything for 5 years. I was
Yeah.
just adjusting, like trying to survive in New York. And then yeah, of course I had an idea. Oh, I wanna record my trio album, but
Yeah.
maybe I need to be ready. I'm not ready. I'm not perfect yet. Something like
I
that.
know.
Right. And then next time, that was what I've been thinking. And then I mean, I'm going to talk about this thing later, but because I'm immigrant, I'm not from here. So you have to get the visa, you have to renew the visa every time. So after I graduate MSM, then I was with I did the how do I say that? I had a like one visa,
Oh,
artist
yes,
visa.
the artist visa.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
yep.
I was on with the artist visa for, uh how long was it? Like 6 years. And then I had like a very hard time with the visa, because like for a couple of years that was terrible, right?
Yeah. Oh, yes, we understand. We know exactly what that means. Yes.
Right? Yeah, that was nice. The process was super slow. And then,
Yes.
one time, I mean, although you got approved the visa over here, if you're out of the US, then you have to get the stamp back again.
Yeah.
So like very difficult. And then they can also reject, although you got approved here, if you're out of the US, then they can still reject your visa.
Yeah, of course. It's
So
like a whole
right.
process. Yeah.
Exactly. So one time when I went to Korea to get the stamp, and then they said, "Oh, you have to wait. We're not sure if you're qualified for this visa," although I
Wow.
approved everything. So yeah, I had to wait there, and then so that was really hard for me. Like I had to wait for 3.5 months, and I came back, and then I thought, "Oh, I really want to apply for like a green card, and I don't want to do this process anymore."
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And so long story short, so I applied the green card, and then the immigration asked me, also we need more information from you, like we need more records from you. And then my lawyer said, so you said you're going to release your city soon, when is that? I said, oh yeah, one day. And then she said, oh, why don't you do right now? You have to do it right now. I mean, this will be really great, to prove, you're qualified with this visa.
Yeah.
Because I had to prove that I'm very benefit to this country as a musician.
Of
That's why,
course.
yeah. So
That's on paper though. Of course we
yeah,
all know that everybody is beneficial to the music. But yes,
right, yeah.
agreed.
And they just said, oh, why don't you do this? Record your album. And I said, oh, I'm not sure, but I can try. And then I started to like call the musician, but I wasn't sure if it's going to work because you have to contact to the studio
Right, a
and the
whole
musician,
process, a whole
right?
thing.
And then you have to get the one day that has to match everything, in one day, like a videographer,
Ugh,
photographer,
yes.
right? Like engineers,
These are
like
the struggles, everybody. These are the struggles
right,
we go through, right? Yes.
right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. So and then amazing thing happened. The Rodney Green, who played the drums, he
Yeah.
said, he was at the time very busy. So he told me only one day. Only this
Wow.
day I can do it. And I was thinking, oh, this might not work. And I asked the engineers and videographer, photographer, bass player. They said, oh yeah, we can do it. Let's try.
Woo.
Right? So I thought that, oh, this is meant to be happen, right? So that's why, and then I tried to compose the music in 1 month. Like, but of course I had a
Wow.
music before, but I had to like, I couldn't sleep at all. I didn't sleep that much at the time.
Oh
I was like
my
really being
gosh.
anxious,
I
right?
bet. Wow. Well, I'm sorry. Well,
Yeah,
thank you for sharing that. Let's take a look at you have we're gonna watch a video just
oh
of
yeah.
this a short video of this album, and then we're gonna take a listen to the song right after that. So here we go.
Man can be final, but he can record his progress. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. No man can be final.
Wow. So we just got a little taste of I mean, Marty Kenny on bass. That's awesome. He's an amazing bassist. And then Rodney Green. Like, man, that's so cool. Like the fact that you just gave us the story of like how it all lined up is just like one. You're always having those moments. Jihee is like, it's meant to be. It's like God knew exactly. It's like, oh my God, this was the day you had to do it and everybody was available. Like, when does that ever happen? Like in New York, it's very rare that those things
Right.
happen. So, very blessed. But, so we're going to listen to this first tune called Are
Mhm.
You Ready? You want to just give us a little bit on what this song is about before we listen to it?
Yeah, so, and then, I was struggling with my ego, right? Because you feel like I don't, I'm not ready. And then that was, if you listen to Are You Ready? There's like a little narration at the beginning of the song. So, that was actually my final confirmation. I believe that's from God. And then, I was reading a book, it's called Art Spirit. And then it says no man can be final, but he can record his progress. And then also my
Mm.
friend told me that, I told my friend, I don't think I'm ready, I'm not sure. I want to get better. I want to record better music. And then she also said that, but you have to struggle this until you die. You just record, where you are right now. And then that I
Mm.
accidentally read that book also. Well, actually, that book was introduced by Maria Schneider, a Schneider masterclass when I was
Yeah.
in Canada School of Music. So I read that one and then okay, this is it. And I'm going to use this one for my song, Are You Ready? So you can hear that narration.
Oh, that's great. Great. So
Yeah.
let's go ahead and take a listen to Jihee Heo. And this is her song, Are You Ready? From the album Are You Ready?
No man can be final, but he can record his progress. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on. No man can be final. Are you ready? Are you ready? What he leaves is so much for others to use as stones to step on or stones to avoid. Are you ready?
Woo! Man, that's hot. I love it. Oh my God. I just love that, like, bing, ba-do-do-do-do, and then that bass line. Oh, man, that's beautiful. I love it.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yay. Yes. Thank you so much for sharing that with us. Wow. That's like a great tune. I mean, I can hear the passion in that tune. I can
Right.
hear the, like, and I think that's something that I think all musicians struggle with. We all struggle with, like, we're never ready. We never feel ready. We're always so we discourage ourselves because of the competition, of the competitiveness that happens amongst musicians in
Right.
itself, but also, like, there's times where I just, I've heard and, like you said, like, I just love the beginning phrase of what you mentioned in the song and what you mentioned earlier, but also the whole thing of just, like, we have to make music and just we have to record now, right? To understand the progress that we
Right.
make later on. So I thought that was a beautiful message, and I just love how, inside that you're just kind of giving those messages throughout the song. So very, very
Right.
nice. Loved it very much. I want to go on to this next tune. This next tune is also from your album. I think I might be a little bit sorry.
Yeah.
I think I'm you can hear me, right?
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
I think it's just Zoom here. All right. So
Mhm.
we'll continue on here. I think there might just be a small little glitch here going on. Okay. Anyways, we'll continue. It looks like we're still getting the audio, but it just might be our Zoom.
Mhm.
Anyways, we just heard Are You Ready from the latest album, Are You Ready from Jihee Heo. And the second tune that we want to do is we want to do the Blurring the Blues. So I'm curious about this one. What does that mean, and why is it called Blurring the Blues? I'm interested now.
Oh, actually, this one, I never shared this story any interview so far, so it's good that I can tell you the story right now. So, so, uh, so Rodney also helped me to make this album. So he was like producer as well, co-producer as well, and then he said, oh, so if you have music, and then can you, like, it would be great to listen together. And then before we record the music, I brought him to my blues, because I thought I should do the blues. And then
Yeah.
he listened to the song, and then he said, you know what this is, just I can't feel you, from this blues. It's just not you. I want to hear your blues. And it says, so yeah. And then I thought, then what is my blues? And I went back home and tried to create my own blues. And then that's how
Mm,
came the song. And then blues mean itself sad. It has a lot of meaning. Very like a sad. Like a pain, that kind of thing.
right.
So I thought, if I name as Blurring the Blues, then also that's probably nice to name,
Yeah,
right?
definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely. So,
Mm-hmm.
let's go ahead and let's take a listen to this tune.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, let's just take a listen, and then we'll get your story on what you just told us about Blurring the Blues by Jihee Heo. Yeah. Woo! Wow. Bravo, bravo. I know you guys can't see me right now. We're having some technical difficulties, but I'm still able to hear the music. I was able to, man, that was amazing, Jihee. I
Thank
love
you.
your grooves. I love your writing. It's just it's so enlightening to hear this music and so thank you so much for sharing that
Of
with
course.
us.
Yeah.
So it's good to hear your version of what Jihee's blues are.
Yes.
I mean,
Exactly.
because sometimes, people don't realize like blues can be happy too, right? Blues can be
That's
a
true.
happy thing or a sad
Right.
thing. And I
Mhm.
think that's some of the things that we as musicians, like if somebody just says, oh, what are the blues about? Well, it's about our struggles. It's about all the different things that
Mhm.
happen. I think I'm back on. I think I'm back on.
Yay.
Yay, I'm
Yay.
back here. You see, I didn't leave you all. I didn't leave you all hanging. But anyways, it's all the emotions, right? That I think that's cool about putting your own
Exactly.
emotion, feeling and struggles and challenges and happinesses in the blues. So that's what I
Mhm.
love about the blues. So thank you so much for sharing that.
Of course.
So I kind of wanted to ask you as a female Asian band leader, what have been some of the challenges that you've had to face
Mhm.
in the jazz scene or just in the music scene in general?
I mean, of course, there is some, there are some rude people, of course, but, I was very lucky, to meet all kinds of people like who's not judging me, you know, the how I look like, or, Asian. I was pretty lucky who sees me just, as I am, trying to see, trying to listen to my music, try to listen to, my story as
Mm-hmm.
it is. So, I mean, also, beginning of the year, like US, of course, my English is still not good, but,
Oh no,
at
it's
the time,
great.
yeah,
It's great.
at the time, it was more like tough. And then I still could make so many great friends there. And then, so I think I was super lucky. And then I really appreciate as a leader, of course, sometimes, there are people who's like, expecting me to being act a certain way, but although, that's just a few. So you can just get
Justify
like just
them.
yeah,
Yeah.
so just a few people can represent all the community, I think. So what I'm saying, that's why I got to be here so far, like at this, so this far as female, like a leader, like with those
Yeah.
support,
Yeah.
which is really great for me, that I feel very fortunate to meet those great people, like who's just love me and just love my music.
Yeah, and definitely, you know, being an inspiration to other female Asians that
Yeah.
are in this same field as you, Jihi, and being, you know, an example of, there are girls that look like me that you can play that music too. You know what I mean? It's not only what has happened in the past or what have you gone through, but it's also the things that you're doing. So having this music and having your album not only is inspiring to all females, it's not, you know,
Mhm.
it's not just
Yeah.
Asian females, but I
Right.
think the fact that because you are Asian and other female Asians can connect with you and say, wow, like it's somebody that
Mhm.
looks like me, I can do it too. You know, it
Yeah.
not only gives them the inspiration and motivation to do what
Mhm.
they want to do. And
Mhm.
so it's always kudos to, you know, I always say kudos to all the females pushing their music and their artistry and just going through this
Mhm.
you know, transition of that the equality of being, you know, accepted
Yeah.
for as a
Yeah.
female band leader, as a professional artist. So, you know, thank you for all that you do on that end and all your hard work and all the struggles and challenges that you may have had to face, whether they're
Mhm.
minor or whether they were big or whatever the case may be. It's always
Mhm.
something that, yes, you know, it's we have to talk
Yeah.
about that, you know, and it's so
Right.
important to know. On that end, what have been, as a band leader, when you're choosing your band, what are the things that kind of go through your mind when you're composing and like choosing a band for the compositions or anything that you're writing? What's kind of your process?
So first of all, of course, when I choose the musician, I was thinking about who can fit with my music, right? That's
Mm.
the first thing. Also, who I feel comfortable with. I think that comes at the second. And Marty, he's really, really great bass player. And then we
Yeah.
went to school together. And then he also played for my graduation recital as well. So we've been knowing each other for almost like for 10 years. So,
Oh,
you know,
nice.
I mean, for me, so I mean, like when people see me that, oh, she's a jazz pianist, she's like a leader, so she probably very wild and the top person, but I'm very also at the same time very like introverted person. So it's very important for me to having someone that I feel comfortable with.
Of
And
course.
then yeah, Marty like comforts me a lot. Like we're best friends. So also that's why I chose Marty. And the Rodney Green, he's, I've been like his music, his drum style so much. And then I think before I made an album like a few years back, I saw his playing and I really liked it. And then
Yeah.
just told her, hey, Rodney, can you play with me? And they said
Yeah.
yes.
That's so cool. I mean,
Right.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just asking, you know, and like you said, it's so important to choose the musicians that you feel comfortable with, that know your music, that
Yeah.
you know you can just play together and you know you're going to
Right.
create something. So that's so great to understand everybody's process and how you do
Yeah.
that.
Yeah.
So I also want to get to this next video and this next song, because I think it really encompasses the whole thing we're talking about, you know, racism, equality, you know, justice and all this. Talk a little bit about this next tune that we're going to hear. We're going to watch the short video first. And then actually let's watch the video first, and then we can talk about it, and then
Okay.
we'll listen to the whole song. How about that? We'll go ahead and
Yeah.
do that.
That's
So,
great. Mhm.
all right. So turn up your volumes. We're going to check out this video of Trust by Jihee Heo.
Mad conceited, I'm just trying to survive. I was going out to eat, the waiters trying to connive. They're blood suckers, and I feel like they are sucking me dry. This is the city of dreams, I just wanna know why. I could dream in Hawaii. There's a scene in Atlanta. You wanna be a designer where people are cold like a panda, but you are no Chelsea handler. You can't handle the rent. Half of my friends over 50 live a life of regret. That makes me kinda upset. I'm pissed off, man. I'm still am. And when I hit the microphone, people know I'm the realest. If y'all feel this, raise your hands. Recognize I am the motherfucking man. I'm in New York, the city of dreams, but this city of dreams ain't as good as it seems. I'm in New York. Yo, who pity the fool? And if this city is killing you, it's killing me too. I'm in New York. Yo, the city of dreams, but this city of dreams.
All All right. Wow. So we're just getting a taste of that. Man, that's so cool. I mean, it's like throwing me off guard. Like, it's like, wait, I'm hearing this like grooviness. And then all of a sudden it's like a rapper's coming in. So tell us a little bit about this song, Jihee. What is it about? Why did you write it? What's the main thing about this tune?
So, I've been actually doing this hip hop band. Like I'm working as a keyboardist and then also arranger, composer. It's called Cross Culture Band. It's there are two rappers and then instrumentalists. So I've been doing this band like since 2017. So
Okay.
I love hip hop music too.
Yeah,
and then,
who
at the
doesn't?
time, right. So I was super influenced by hip hop music, and then when I was making music, I thought, I love this one. Why not? I mean, some people actually commented me that, isn't it a little bit out of context? That's what they said. But I mean, it's my album, right?
Yeah. Thank you. At the end of the day, you are, unless they are paying you, unless they say, I'll pay you not to put that on the album. Okay, then I'll make another hip hop album. Thank you. Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, so I just wanted to do whatever I feel like want to do, and then I was super into that music, and then I thought that hip hop music is perfect to deliver the message that I want to
Yes,
put it.
definitely.
And then Seidu is the vocal rapper. The hip hop band is rapper.
Okay.
So I asked him, so I wanna
What's the rapper's name?
Seidu.
Seidu. Oh, okay,
Yeah, Seidu
cool.
Essie. Yeah, and then he's super nice guy, very, very smart. And I told him my story. So this is the story that I want to do. And then can you be my voice? And then try to, write the lyrics for me. So I told him the story, and then he wrote lyrics. So I told him, so at the time, like I said before, I was really struggling with my visa, like the last few years, like very difficult time waiting for it. And then of course, you feel very, very like you get really angry with all the process, right?
Yeah.
And then I felt like I'm not welcoming in this country. That's what I felt as an immigration. So that's why I want to put that story into the music. And so you will hear it as
Great. So just so I'm clear, you this is your story, but you asked the rapper Seidu
yes
to write lyrics for you based off of the story, kind of like what you were going through. Oh wow,
Right.
that's amazing. So let's actually take a listen to the whole audio of this, and I hope you guys like it. So turn up your volumes so we can check out Trust by Jihee Heo.
I'm just a tiny fish in the major seas, trying to keep my head above water without much space to breathe. Domestic policies obviously trying to make me leave, but I am Tyson Fury, a gypsy king. It is shaping me spiritually. I play in the church. Over time I felt God seep into my system and then patiently work. Let me be clearer. Every morning when I look in the mirror, I see an Asian female musician as awkward as Fina up in New York. I'm feeling that I shouldn't actually be here. I got some racists saying that I should go back to Korea. It's on sight, meaning that they could get smacked when I see them, but it's New York where they use slang like facts and fiending. Yo. People are mad conceited. I'm just trying to survive. I was going out to eat. The waiters trying to connive. They're blood suckers, and I feel like they are sucking me dry. This is the city of dreams. I just wanna know why. I could dream in Hawaii. There's a scene in Atlanta. You wanna be a designer where people are cold like a panda, but you are no Chelsea handler. You can't handle the rent. Half of my friends over 50 live a life of regret. That makes me kinda upset. I'm pissed off, man. I'm still am. And when I hit the microphone, people know I'm the realest. If y'all feel this, raise your hands. Recognize I am the motherfucking man. I'm in New York. The city of dreams, but this city of dreams ain't as good as it seems. I'm in New York. Yo, who pity the fool? And if this city is killing you, it's killing me too. I'm in New York. Yo. York, yo, I'm in New York. I'm in New York, yeah, I'm in New York. The city of dreams, the city of dreams ain't as good as it seems. I'm in New York, yo. Who pity the fool? And if this city is killing you, it's killing me too. I'm in New York. I'm in New York, man. I'm in New York, word up. I'm in New York, dead ass. I'm in New York, yo. I'm in New York, word up. I'm in New York, yo. I'm in New York, word up. I'm in New York, word up. I'm in New York, yeah. I'm in New York, Bed-Stuy. I'm in New York, Harlem. I'm in New York, Bed-Stuy. I'm in New York, Crown Heights. I'm in New York, Staten Island. I'm in New York, yo. I'm in New York. Woo! The city of dreams, but this city of dreams ain't as good as it seems. I'm in New York. Who pity the fool? And if this city is killing you, it's killing me too. I'm in New York. 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 I'm in New York.
Hey! Woo! Yeah, Jihee. Oh my God. Okay, first of all, no, it was not out of context. This song is perfect for your album. Like, I just love it. I mean, like, now that I know the
Yeah.
backstory, that this is your story and like what you've gone through and what you were feeling. And for
Mhm.
him to write those lyrics and just kind of put this through, man, I love it. I mean,
Oh, thank you.
everybody tuning in, I definitely got to do some shout outs. We got Peter Lynn in the house, who is also tuning in. Marilyn Dix, who's here. Thank you so much for being here. And anybody else, Alvaro, we have Mary Aguilar. Thank you guys so much for all tuning in. Thank you guys. But yeah, it reminded me of, well, first of all, I agree with Marilyn. She says that the rapper reminded her of Jay-Z. He kind of had like same vibe, right? But
Yeah.
like the whole like vibe of this song reminded me of like, like the Robert Glasper like,
Yeah.
feeling and stuff. I loved it. I loved it so much, and I love your compositions.
Thank you.
Just the whole concept of it is just amazing. So yes, perfectly, in context of what what we're talking about and what it's all about. I think it's something that it's needed to be said, and we're all going through this in our different ways, and it's great. And the beauty of music is allowing us to write about our feelings, our emotions, and the things that we're going through. um what advice do you give to any composers who are struggling to put their voice out, you know when you want to have their voices to be heard? Like, what were some of your struggles that you were kind of like, I don't know how to do this, I don't know what to say, if I'm, at this point sometimes it's always like, am I saying the right thing, am I not? But it's also like the confidence of saying like, no, I am what I am, I'm doing what I'm doing. What is
Yeah.
some advice that you can give to composers or musicians going through kind of this same process?
So, I think the conflict comes when when you're trying to be someone else, I think.
Mm.
So, when you're trying to, I want to make music,
Yes.
like this person, but you have to, first see yourself ahead, is that really what I want? Isn't there like something like ego involved or something like that?
Yeah.
So, but also at the same time, if you're like a young musician, I think you get to experience those also process as well. I mean, why not?
Mm.
I want to make this like music like this kind of person and this
Yeah.
kind of, and then after everything like a stack inside of you, then it comes like who you are at the end, you know, of your life. So everything, just I think I mean, I'm not sure if I can, I have a position to recommend,
Of
like
course
to
you
tell them.
do.
But
Yeah.
what I did was, I'm trying to be myself and then be honest with myself. That's
Yeah.
what I'm trying. And then when you do best you can, and then you don't have any regret, at least you tried your best.
Amen
You
to that.
tried, right? Yeah, you tried what you can do at that time. So yeah.
Yes, definitely. I think it's something that we all as human beings, we struggle with our
Right.
own egos,
Yeah.
with our own humility, learning to just kind of understand ourselves, right? And I think
Mhm.
through music, it's what's the beauty of that, you know? And I
Yeah.
think like you said, just earlier, our early young generations that are going through the process, they're recording their time and their moment, right? And then later on
Right.
can go back and say, oh, I learned from that. You know, I was still,
Mhm.
maybe I was ignorant, or maybe I was too young, or, and then you come back,
Right.
you know, later, 30 years, and you're like, oh, wow, like I've changed so much, or I've,
Yeah.
you know, and
Exactly.
there's always room for change. There's always room for, you know, open and vulnerability. I think
Right.
that word
Yeah.
isn't used as much, right? Because we all kind of put a fence up of, you know, being
Hmm.
vulnerable, and it's because of so
Right.
many things. You know, it's because of racism, it's because of, you know, injustice and hate, and, you know, stereotypes that we all
Hmm.
are going through. So
Right.
anything anything that you would like to say to, you know, maybe um the Asian community of jazz musicians, what is something that you would recommend if they're struggling, you know, with their own, you know, their own self, but not only
Mhm.
going through the whole process, kind of like, you know, you shared so many great stories, and you shared some of those struggles of, you know, having to get your green card, and just, you know, being here and trying to be accepted, and then going through emotions. Like, what are some of the things that you can give to, you know, words of wisdom or words of comfort to just kind of get people going?
So for Asian people, I think, so the culture is like that. So you have to be polite, right? All the time. So there are probably, probably not hiding, like it's in a way to being polite,
Hmm.
but when they represent by themselves, they're,
Somebody
they're
else.
real. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Ah.
So, but I think if you're an artist and a musician, then you have to express yourself more. And then I think
Mm.
people been changing also. So if you just, I think that's the most, like important thing, because art is freedom, right? And
Of
then you have to
course.
be free yourself, instead of like being like a little bit, polite I mean, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't be polite, of
Or
course,
not
but what I'm
rude,
saying,
of course. Yeah,
yeah,
yeah, yeah.
yeah.
But
But
yeah,
what I'm talking about, my point is you have to be more yourself,
confident and, you know,
exactly.
yeah, definitely. I agree. And so I before we end, I want to I know there's a few events that are coming up for you, Jihee, and we definitely want to share that with all our audience members. And for
Hmm.
those who are going to be watching later, hopefully by then they'll get this in time. But
Yeah.
you have an event coming up on Thursday, a virtual event, May 27th. Can you tell us a little bit about that one?
Yeah, so it's I'm very super excited about this event. So I'm going to collaborate with a painting artist based on Chicago. He's
Oh,
a Chicago
cool.
painting artist, and then he's the guy who goes to the jazz club and then drawing jazz musician.
Yeah.
Like a lot. So he contacted me that he listened to my album and he wanna collaborate with me. So that's what we're going to do next week. So basically, I'm playing solo piano and then he gets the inspiration and drawing my
Oh, that's
portrait,
cool.
right?
So like he's going to
Yes,
be drawing like live while you're playing live?
yes,
Oh,
uh-huh,
that's
yeah. So
so
he's going to
cool.
probably, yeah, probably part of me also, some, stuff that he likes. So yeah, it's going to be interesting. And then he's going to live in Instagram.
On
Yeah,
Instagram live. Okay, and this will be
yeah,
on your
Instagram.
Instagram live? Is that correct?
Yes. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Okay, perfect. So we'll definitely put that if you follow Jihee on Instagram. Jihee, do you know your profile name? I don't know if we had gotten your name
Oh
for
yeah, it's
Instagram.
Yeah, Jihee NYC Pianist.
NYC Pianist. Okay, so Jihee
Yeah.
NYC Pianist is the profile for the lovely Miss Jihee on Instagram. So on May 27th, and what time is that at?
That is going to be happen. I think it's going to be, let me just double check.
Yeah, we want to make sure everyone tunes in. So if you're East Coast, Mountain Time, Central Time.
All right, that's going to be happen, I think, at 8 p.m.
8 p.m. Eastern Time,
Mm-hmm.
7 p.m. Central Time, 6 p.m. Mountain Time. So if you guys are on Instagram Live, follow Jihee, and you'll be able to check out that virtual event where she's going to be performing live and with an artist who will be painting live at the same time. So you might even want to grab a glass of wine, and if you get your artistic side, you might even want to draw with them or something. Also, yeah, or Jihee, do you have a Clubhouse by any chance? Do you have are you part of Clubhouse?
Oh, no, I've heard about it, but
I
I
know. I
did.
feel like this
Yeah,
is a new
get
thing.
started.
It's a new
Yeah,
thing.
exactly.
And last week when we had our special guest Peter Lynn, he's pretty big on Clubhouse, but we had a big AAPI community who was following and listening live too. So if you guys are not hip to Clubhouse yet, check it out. It's pretty much all it is like talking to people without video, without sharing, you know,
Mhm.
photos or anything. It's just more like a place to just talk and hang, and everybody has discussions. So, anyways, we're trying to slowly transition into a clubhouse. So hopefully we'll see how that works. But and then so the other event that's coming up is June 9th. This is going to be your CD release, a virtual CD release. So tell us
Right.
about that.
Yeah, so far, I mean, it's getting better with the older venues, like that venue starting to open, but still, it's not fully open. So I thought
Correct.
maybe it would be great to have a virtual event like before like the in-person city release. So yeah, I just, arranged the, schedule with the musicians, and yeah, it's going to be June 9th.
And this is going to be on your YouTube channel, right? Or your
Mhm.
YouTube link. And so what is your profile on YouTube, Jihee Heo, or
Yeah, just a G Heo. Let's see. I have to check my name because I'm not
I know
doing
we
YouTube that
we
much.
didn't we didn't get it prior, so we would have shared that. But will this will be June 9th. We still don't know a time, but if you follow her on YouTube and subscribe to her channel, when she does have it ready to go or
Right.
is going to premiere it live, you'll get that notification. So for those of you guys, please follow Jihee on YouTube. Also follow the Jazz Exchange. I always mention that, you know, sometimes when you hear the word subscribe, you think you're having to pay for something. You're not. On YouTube, all it is you push subscribe. And when you subscribe, you actually support that page, that group, or that organization or artist. The subscribe button just kind of lets you get notified on any new videos that they post. So if you haven't had a chance to subscribe to the Jazz Exchange, please do so. But also, we're saying to please support Jihee, our special guest this evening, and go to her YouTube channel for that CD release on June 9th. And so there'll be more details once you follow her on that. But other than that, Jihee, thank you so much, first of all, for your time and for sharing your music and your story with us. It really has been a pleasure talking with you. And I mean, I'm surprised I haven't heard about you like before. I when I saw your picture, I was like, I have seen you, but I didn't even know like your music or anything like that. So that's why I wanted to reach out and just like get to know you, to see what you're doing. And it really has been an inspiration, with your music and composing. It's beautiful. It's lovely.
You.
Keep doing it. That is what you are good at. And obviously people here tuning in tonight have enjoyed all your beautiful music.
Mhm.
Any last thing that you'd like to mention before we leave?
Oh yeah, I'm super glad that I'm being part of the shoot today. Thanks for inviting me. Thanks to Abel and Candice. And I think this is really amazing channel that you should definitely subscribe. This is amazing that, there's this kind of channel in jazz community, and then it's nice that you invite jazz musicians.
Yeah,
And then
thank you.
yeah,
Thank
and
you.
then I enjoyed it very much.
Thank you so much. Well, I look forward to it whenever you have another album coming out, whether
Yeah,
that's next year or 5 years or 10 years. We hopefully will still be here, right? And so we'd
yeah.
love to support you. Please go to, Bandcamp. Please go to anything. We've been posting some of your links on how you guys can go out and support. Again, supporting the artists in the jazz community right now is really, really what we need from everybody who's tuning in live and
Mhm.
watching all our shows. Please go and buy their albums. You can stream it. If you want to do it for free, go stream it. But if you really want to, pay back and give to the community, go to their band camps. They get, the 100%. Uh, if you buy their albums, I think it's like once a week or a month. I'm not too sure. But yeah, please, stay in tune, follow them, go to their social media pages. And again, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. It's to get to know you and to hear your music. And we look forward to some more
Thank
of your
you.
future music. And again, a reminder to everybody, next week's guest is going to be VJ Ira, who's an amazing, amazing musician as well. And we're looking forward to having him on our show. So if you guys have a chance, again, same time, same place. Like we always say, mi casa, su casa. You guys are always welcome here. And hopefully you guys can tune in with us next week at 8 p.m. Eastern time as well. So again, Jihee, thank you so much. Have a wonderful
Thank you.
evening. Thank you everybody for tuning in live, and we'll see you all next week. Don't forget, this Friday is the live premiere of the Radam Schwartz Organ Big Band on our YouTube channel. Go and subscribe and go and check it out. Thank you guys so much. Have a wonderful Wednesday evening.